Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. In this video we are doing a best of series with interior dressings. We have 11 market leading scorching hot products. We're going to put them through a grueling set of tests to ultimately find you the best recommendation. There can be only one. So test number one, guys, I'm going to introduce all of the products. As we do so, it's value for money. So we take the price of all of these smallest retail offerings and convert it to a litre. So we're comparing price per litre. So it's a pound for pound comparison of all these products. So the most expensive product is the DIY Detail interior ceramic that we've reviewed before on the channel. This costs £99.26 per litre, which is a phenomenally expensive product, about 46 quid to get this half a litre bottle. But this is a true ceramic dressing, so should we get more durability out of it, whatever UV protection it offers, will it stick around longer? Is this the future of kind of how we dress our interiors? I'm not sure. This test perhaps will tell us. So that's our first product in the lineup. The next product in the lineup is the Angelwax Enigma Inferno, which costs £41.70 per litre. So it's almost half the price. Now again, this is a sort of ceramic, maybe graphene in their Enigma Interno range. I think it might just be a ceramic trim dressing. I might have the graphene part wrong there. But again, it talks about its built-in UV enhancers, and a ceramic material should typically last longer than a traditional, perhaps silicone-based or wax-based type dressing. So there we go, that's the Angelwax Enigma Interno. Both DIY Detail and Angelwax have traditional silicone things that you can spray that are a lot cheaper. I thought these would be much more interesting products to put in the test, but they come with a price, don't they? Our third product in this test, and the third most expensive, is the Carbon Collective Nuovo Interior Detailer, which is an SiO2. So that's not quite ceramic, that's a silicon dioxide, which is often used in water-based ceramic kind of sprays. This product costs a whopping £37.98 per litre for an interior ready-to-go dressing. That's very expensive, but you know, you could also say it's more modern than a traditional silicone dressing. So there we go, Carbon Collective Nuovo, or whatever it's called. Okay, the fourth most expensive product in this test, relatively new to market, I think, is the Meguiars Ultimate Interior Shine Protectant. Comes in this really cool, very well packaged bottle, but it costs £32.11 per litre. Makes it the fourth most expensive. This is a traditional based dressing with a glossy finish. Okay. Coming up with our fifth most expensive product in this test is the Soft99 Luxury Leather, which seems to offer itself as a cleaner and conditioner for car leather, but it is also a trim dressing as well. So this is a Soft99 interior dressing. This product costs £23.98 per litre, which is somewhere in the middle. Notice our average cost per litre is £29.05, which is around there. That is pulled or skewed by the DIY Detail, which I think probably adds about another £6 or £7 per litre to the average because it's so expensive. So it's below average in this test. Next up, our sixth most cheapest, if you like, or somewhere in the middle, is the very well regarded Aerospace Protectant 303 Ultimate UV Protection. Been around for a long time, American brand. This product costs £21.08 per litre, which represents above average value for money. This really is all about protecting the interior, and it's known for its UV protectors that are going to stop and hopefully help fading and all that sort of stuff. Next up, coming up in, well, this is the 5th cheapest product here, is the Autoglym Vinyl and Rubber Care. This formulation's been around for many, many years. So the Autoglym product costs £20.72 per litre based on scaling up this retail size offering. Okay. Next up, the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Ceramic Graphene Inside Job. It's got quite a few names. Now, the cool thing about this being in 4th place on the price is that this product also includes ceramic and graphene technology, which you often think of as being really expensive. This is a water-based product, so this isn't a true ceramic like the DIY detail. So you can argue that there's some marketing and stuff going on here. But from a simple point of view, it shows you that it can incorporate ceramic and graphene technology, and the product doesn't have to be expensive. So it depends how you look at it. Now we get into the top 3 on value, guys. So German brand Koch Chemie, and it's Koch, not Co-Chemie, or whatever it is you guys say. You get a litre of this. I love the way most of their products come in a litre bottle. It's such a more kind of professional way of giving people product in those tiny little bottles that you fly through. And this bottle costs £17.98, so it represents pretty good value, okay? Now, next up, it's called Top Star as well, sorry. Next up, this is interesting because this is Gyeon Preserve, okay, Q2M Preserve. Now, this is a concentrate that you water down 1 to 5, a silicon dioxide concentrate. So you use this, you know, if you're going to go and coat your dashboard and your door panels and all that, you'd use this down at 1 to 5. But you can increase the concentration if you want to get a richer, thicker kind of finish. You know what I mean? But you'll go through the product. So I've based its cost at using it as 1 to 5 because that's how I'd use it, and that's how I'm comparing it, which gives a cost per litre of £6.33, which is a massive jump up. So concentrates are always huge value. So that comes in 2nd place, our Gyeon Preserve. But in 1st place, a very similar product, because it's also silicon dioxide based. You can see that the formulations aren't exactly the same when I've got them in those cups mixed down at the same ratio. But you can see that SiO2 in there. It's quite a strange material. Now again, the Carpro PERL is a silicon dioxide dressing that you mix down at 1 to 5 for that general purpose interior use. We'll talk about its versatility and what you can use it for later on. That will give you a cost per litre of £3.78, which is significantly cheaper even than the Gyeon. So this product runs away with test number 1, the value for money. If you're looking for a dressing that offers value for money, you will not really beat Carpro PERL because of the fact it's a concentrate. And I can tell you from using this for years, 1 to 5 is good, but it's still quite shiny and satiny at 1 to 5. You can go even down to 1 to 10 and get a thinner, almost like interior detailer at 1 to 10 with DI water. So you can even get that price down to like £1.50 a litre. And I'm telling you, a litre of interior dressing will last you a long time as a guy at home. Even as a professional, it should last you a month, or maybe even longer, depends how much you use of it. So the value of this, it's exceptional, and it gets to that point where you don't care how much you use because it's so cheap. Some of the others, you sort of every time you squirt the trigger, you're squirting out like 30p or something. So you know me, you know how I roll. I love value for money, but I need the performance with it. There's our podium on value. Koch, Gyeon, Carpro. Let's move on to the next test. So the next test, guys, I've called this restoration, but you could call it like enhancement. Now, one criteria of an interior dressing that you might want is if you're using it on lots of different cars, you might want to enhance the finish of a tired, perhaps older car interior. So you get the idea, it's like that enhancement, it's the wow factor, it's taking a dull finish to a nice rich finish. Now, there is an argument to say you don't want that. So you can always exclude this test if you're on a high-end car and you want the finish to be altered less. But I think this is a quality you'd want measured and tested in this type of test. So we'll do it. The base reading of our test panel with our row point darkness meter, I believe in a thing called love, sorry, is 3.5. The lower that number, the darker it is. So we're looking for the number to get lower and lower, darker and darker. So in joint last place with the alteration to the finish is Turtle Wax ceramic inside job and DIY detail. They don't do that much to the finish. 3.3 reading, so just a slight darkening effect. Funny enough, after that was the Angelwax. To my eyes, both of these products darken a little bit more than the Angelwax, but the meter reading said otherwise. You know, we took some averages, but who knows? Basically, none of these three products darken that much. After that was the Koch Chemi with 3.0, so not a prolific restorative effect or a darkening or an enhancement to the finish of our test dashboard. After that, all of these products are quite close and quite good. So these two are in second place with 2.8, and they add a good alteration to the finish and a significant darkening. 0.7 units from 3.5 is reasonably significant. After that, there's another step down with the Gyeon and the Carpro with 2.7, so slightly more darkening. Then we get to our podium, our top three. In third place is the Autoglym with 2.5 units, so over a unit of darkening. So there's a good restorative effect to the Autoglym product, especially if you've got a tired dashboard. In joint second, with also 2.5, is the Soft99 Luxury Leather, but it could also be used on trim. So both these products have a good darkening effect, but the one with the best enhancement, a reading of 2.4, so the lowest darkness reading, but it also really alters the finish the most, is the Meguiars Ultimate Interior Shine Protectant. So I think, if you're looking for a dressing to use to really bring back a finish or create a wow factor finish on a poor finish, then this product is top of the pile. And my eyes would concur with the gloss meter reading. It really does have for the wow factor this. Gloss is a bit of a taboo subject because of the inclusion of the, like the wipes that really add a layer of thick slime, almost like a slimy tyre dressing over a dashboard that have got a stigma against them. But I would say the Meguiars is a classy gloss. It's not a wet gloss. It's not a silicone, slimy thing that you're going to get all grease over your hands. It dries and it just leaves a lovely, sharp, shiny, glossy finish. So very good. What we've done there is converted those ratings into points. So the Meguiars there gets 10 points for that restorative effect. So the next criteria, guys, I've called it versatility, but what I'm marking for is, can you use this on leather? Can you use it on tyres? Can you use it on engine bay? Can you use it on rubber? Can you use it on trim, essentially plastics? Can it be used inside and outside of cars? So could it be used on plastic trim on the exterior? And does it provide UV protection? Each of those are worth 2 marks with a total of 14. So with the least amount of marks is the Soft99 Luxury Leather, which is also kind of rebranded here, Quick Interior Care. Now I think half the problem with this product is it needs to be really reworded for the UK market. I think Soft99 are doing that. But when I go through the product claims, it doesn't tell me that it offers UV protection. In fact, it's the only one which doesn't. Doesn't tell me if it can be used on exteriors. In fact, it hints that it's interior only. Trim, yes. Rubber, no. Engine bays, no, or it doesn't tell me. Tyres, no. Leather, obviously, yes. So it only picked up 2 ticks, which is a total of 4 marks. Next up is the Angelwax. Again, only 2 ticks, but they're different ticks. It does provide UV protection and it can be used on trim, but it doesn't tell me about rubber. It didn't tell me about the engine bay. it didn't tell me about tyres, and it didn't tell me about leather. It can be used on fabrics, but that's not what I'm looking for an interior dressing. Fabrics, I'm less interested in that. It's a dressing in my book. So I've got lots of questions, and I can't use it on exteriors as well, especially with something that's ceramic-esque. I would like to be able to use it on engine bay plastics and that. So I think the instructions could be broadened, or maybe those instructions are correct, and it is just for that plastic trim inside your car, and it's going to give you UV protection, but it doesn't have the versatility of some of the other products, and we'll see as we go through. Next, excuse my cough, the Meguiars. Now, the Meguiars does offer UV protection. It can be used on interiors and exteriors. It can be used on trim. It can be used on rubber. It doesn't tell me about engine bays. It doesn't tell me about tyres. And it doesn't tell me about leather. So overall, 4 ticks, 8 marks. Average, you know, there's quite a lot that fall into this average category. Next up, Turtle Wax. UV protection, yes. Exterior, inside and out, doesn't tell me. Trim, yes. Rubber, yes. Engine bays, no. Tyres, no. Leather, yes. So 4 ticks, 8 marks. Next up, DIY detail, also 8 marks. So UV protection offers that. Doesn't tell me anything about using it on exterior plastics, which is something that I'd want to know. It basically says you can use it on anything exterior, but interior, but not exterior. Trim, yes. You know, rubber, yes, on the inside of the car. Engine bays doesn't mention that. So could I coat the plastics on engine bays? I'm not sure. Tyres, probably not, but it doesn't say that, you know. And leather, yes, because all interior surfaces, it doesn't rule that out. Yeah, it's safe on leather, vinyl, and you can put it on fabrics as well, but again, I'm not interested in that. So an average kind of show of what you can use it on. Next up, the Gyeon Preserve. Again, average on what you can do with it. UV protection, yes. Interior and exterior, yes. Trim, yes. Rubber doesn't mention. I'd imagine it'd be fine on rubber, but it doesn't tell me that. Can't find the word rubber anywhere. Engine, yes. Tyres doesn't mention it, so no. Leather doesn't mention it, so no. I'd imagine it would be fine on leather, but again, if it doesn't tell me, I have to assume no. Next up, Koch Chemie with 10 marks. UV protection, yes. Interior, exterior, yes. Trim, yes. Rubber, yes. Engine bays, yes. Tyres, no. Leather, no. So that's, 5 ticks, 10 marks. Next up, Autoglym. UV protection, yes. Inside and out, yes. You can use this on exterior plastics. Trim, yes. Rubber, yes. Engine bay, yes. Tyres, probably not, but it doesn't mention them. It's not a tyre dressing, you know, as such. You might be able to use it, but according to instructions, it doesn't mention it. And it doesn't mention leather either. So that's 5 ticks, 10 marks, but decent, decent. It does say on their website you can use it in wheel arches and stuff like that, and the exterior plastics. Next up, Carbon Collective, 12 marks, nearly a full house. 14 marks is a full house, isn't it? So Carbon Collective can be used on everything. You know, it's got UV, in and out, trim, rubber, engine bays, tyres, no. Leather, yes. So they might say, no, it isn't for tyres, but there are products in here that you can use on tyres, which means it's one less product you've got to have. So nearly a full house. Next up, Aerospace 303 Protectant. UV protection, yes. You know, it really goes on about that. Inside and out, yes. Trim, yes. Rubber, yes. Engine bays, yes. Tyres, no. Leather, yes. Note, non-processed leather. You can't use it on like suede and aniline leather and things like that, but a processed leather finish where it's paint and top coat, yes, you can use it on. They're quite good with the wording on that, actually. And finally, the only product to pick up a full smorgasbord, 7 ticks, 14 marks, is the Carpro PERL. It offers UV protection. Forgive my voice. You can use it inside and out. You can use it on trim. You can use it on rubber. You can use it on an engine bay. You can use it as a tyre dressing. You can use it on leather. And it makes it very clear that you can do all those things. Yeah. So that is the only one that got the full house. So if you're after a versatile product, really, these three are the most versatile according to the instructions. Carbon Collective, followed by Aerospace, same amount of points, and then the winner, Carpro on versatility. Thank you very much. The next test, guys, durability. Now, this is a difficult one because of all the different functions. Now, primarily, we're looking at interior dressings. Now, if you take the dashboard as an example, the door card, you lay this product out, it forms a film. The carrier disappears, which is often water, and leaves a film of silicone or SiO2 or some ceramic material behind or whatever, a wax. And then really that film will stay there and it's not going to get eroded away by the environment. It's not going to get rained on. UV, I don't think is going to be able to degrade it in a way that anyone is going to be able to test without a UV tank. So what I did was I applied all these products to our test dashboard. They were left on there for over a week, and I'd been in Switzerland on my road trip. And what I did was I just took a microfiber sponge, put a spritz of water on it, wet it, wrung it out, and then put a spritz of APC on it, and then just did 10 wipes across that dry film and observed the deterioration of each of the products. Because the only thing you're going to do to these interior dressings is it's going to get dusty and dirty. You're just going to give it a wipe over with a wet microfiber and a bit of APC. So that was the best way, I thought, to test durability. And we got some meaningful results. The Koch Chemie and the Turtle Wax were basically wiped off completely. So if you apply these and you go and wash and wipe out the interior of your car, they're going to be gone. These 5 products here, Autoglym, Carpro, Gyeon, Soft99 and Aerospace 303, it's landed on my foot. I've given them 1 mark after wiping them and then drying them and air drying them. There was a tiny amount of the product on there, but 99% of it was gone. So their durability under cleaning is not good. But if you don't touch them, they'll be fine. Same with all of these. So this is just one measure of durability. Next up was the Meguiars, which actually, after being wiped over, still had a good darkening effect. You could still see it on the panel. So it's going to survive being wiped. So you'll get a bit more durability. The best non-ceramic in terms of durability was the Carbon Collective, and I gave that 6 points out of 10. So the Meguiars 4 points out of 10. This one 6 points out of 10, where it's still doing a good job after that wipe down. So yeah, pretty impressed with that actually. Then finally, these 2 products here, the Angelwax and the DIY Detail, the true ceramics seem to be the ones that actually bond, and the material that's on that surface is not going to be easily removed. My gut instinct is that the DIY Detail one looks like it has slightly better durability, but it's very hard to say because the Angelwax one has less of a noticeable impact when you apply it. It's hard to spot, but I've given it to the DIY Detail because I cannot affect that DIY Detail strip in any way, even if I go bananas on it. So it's really a durable material that's cured onto that surface and will not come off. And that will be of interest to some people because it could have failed that test and I could have wiped over and it could have just come off. And it's like all this ceramic stuff, it's all a load of old nonsense, you could argue. But no, it's really, these 2 products are expensive, are a genuinely durable material that I think will last longer. You can ask questions and delve into the subject area. Do you really want a material on those surfaces that you can't easily get off? Because you can't buff them off like you can on paintwork or glass. So they're there. So you need to be careful when you apply them and make sure that that's what you want. But these 2 products, I think for sure, if you're less interested about enhancing the dashboard and really interested about putting something down that is going to still be there potentially in a few years' time and doing its thing all of that time that it's there, then these are definitely the products to go. And I think the DIY Detail one just has a little bit more, it seems, in terms of durability. There we go. So Carbon Collective, Angelwax, DIY Detail as our top 3 durability picks. Okay guys, just some other quick notes about these products. Matte finish, satin finish, matte finish, gloss finish, satin finish, matte with a hint of satin finish, and then both these are satin finish. Those that are interested in smells and scents, no scent, a bit like a fresh soap scent here. This I put musky pine scent. This smells of strawberries, it's lovely. This smells of sweet cherries. That doesn't have any scent. That has a slight fresh kind of citrusy smell to it. That has a lovely lemony smell, and both of these have no scents. As the final results, we add up all the points. The ones down here have got the least, the ones down there have got the most. If we change the test criteria and the weighting, all these products could flip around and all of that sort of stuff. So you can ignore certain tests if they're not important to you. Excuse the coughing, the dreaded virus is still there. Now in last place is Angelwax with 17 points and DIY Detail with 19. These products got hammered on the price because they're so expensive. They lost a big chunk of marks. However, they both offer something unique that none of these products offer, and that is true durability, especially under being wiped and cleaned. I believe both these products, the material bonds to the surface and lasts longer. And if it does provide UV protection, as they state, then you know that UV protection should also last longer. So there's a professional avenue where these could be quite useful as an upsale. The Angelwax one you would buy if you want a cheaper ceramic, because it's half the price, but it's very important that it doesn't alter the finish at all. The DIY Detail product has a slightly better darkening effect to my eyes. You can see it there, and I think it looks a bit nicer, but it's twice the price. So there you go. But both these products will stick around for a long time, so be careful where you're applying them to. You know, don't hurl them around. Be careful and apply them. Prep, clean the surface, test it, put it on, do your thing. Next place, Soft99. The reason this is down here with 22 points is because it's been repurposed as an interior dressing, and I think they need to go through and update the label, make sure it's got UV blockers in it, because that's important. It's the only product that doesn't tell you it provides UV protection. I think most people will want that from an interior trim dressing and dashboard dressing and all that sort of stuff. So the instructions have let this one down. The finish on it is brilliant. It's a nice rich satin finish, very similar to like the Autoglym and some of the top products down here. So it's really just the repurposing of the bottle for me. The Turtle Wax inside job. I've been using this for the last year on my E36, and I always thought it's a fantastic product. But after doing this test, I don't like it as much because it's not as noticeable. It's too subtle, and it wipes away too easy. It does have the ceramic technology and graphene technology in there, and it's relatively cheap, and it also cleans the surface as well. I think it's got aloe vera in it or something like that. It's okay, but it's fair to say it's not one that I would go now and buy, but it's okay. It needs a bit more. I want a bit more from it. Now, these two products, Meguiars, Carbon Collective, both with 28 points. I really like both of these products. I think they're brilliant. The Meguiars is such a rich finish. Used it on the lower trim of my E36. It looks amazing. It really brings up the finish of whatever you're applying it to, and you get a real satisfaction after you've used it and a bit of a wow factor. It's very easy for it to go a little bit further and try and be too rich and glossy, and then it becomes a bit cheesy and tacky. It's not like that. I think it's right at the maximum acceptable level of what you'd want for a dressing, and that gloss does die down a little bit. Love the packaging, love the smell. It's a really cool bottle, really cool trigger. It's got one Achilles heel that's whacked it right down. It's overpriced in the UK, in my opinion, at £32. This sits on the shelf next to Turtle Wax in Halfords, next to Autoglym, next to whoever else is in there. All those other dressings are about £20 a litre. This is £32 a litre. So that's why it's down here, which is a shame. It could have been right up at the top. One of my favourite products in this test. Next up, the Carbon Collective. It's SiO2, so it's different to the other ones. Really nice, rich satin finish that actually offers some good durability under wiping. It smells lovely of cherry. Excuse me. Again, like the Meguiars, this product costs £37 per litre. Because it's so expensive, I think it was the third most expensive in this test, it lost a ton of marks. So again, it could have been right on the top podium because of that. It's too expensive for an interior detailer. SiO2, which is what it's using, isn't particularly expensive as a material. Okay, and Carpro, you get a concentrate of it, and it's dirt cheap. So I can't see the justification for the price tag. Which is a shame. Both of these fantastic products. Now, with 29 points, we got the 303 Aerospace Protectant. This is a real stalwart of a interior dressing. I think it adds a good level of darkening, a good improvement to the finish without being quite as strong as either of these two in that sense. It's more neutral. Doesn't have any smell, but it really puts an emphasis on it protecting your car from UV damage. It's reasonably priced at £21, 8p per litre. So it's fallen somewhere in the middle. And I think it's a good benchmark, and you've got to be a strong product to beat this. And I think beyond here, we're getting into the really strong products. So it's decent, but a bit pricey. I don't know, and perhaps you could get a little bit more wow factor. It doesn't have the wow factor of either of these, but it's ahead of them because of the price. Next up, Koch Chemi. Now, just some little problems with this. It says to spray it, but it doesn't come with a sprayer. It comes with a nipple. So that's not like the Germans. They usually get the details correct. Very good price at £17.98 per litre. A more subtle finish, a lot less shine than these two perhaps. Not the best durability, it wipes straight off. So you would use this as a reliable dressing that is never going to cause you any problems. You're less likely to not to notice the bits you've missed. You know, you put the Meguiars on the dashboard, you do a line of it, you'll see one side all nice and shiny and glossy and the other side dull, whereas this would blend in. It's a more natural finish. Good product, but a little bit boring perhaps. That's my thoughts. A little bit lacking the wow factor on the finish, even more so than the 303. Now we get up into our top echelons, guys. 32 points, the Autoglym product. The downside of this product are the bottle, which I always talk about. I don't like the bottles. They're just awkward to hold, and they're not... if you're using this day in, day out, you decant it. You know, I almost think Autoglym should release a bottle sprayer they could sell in Halfords. It's the bee's knees, amazing, like the IK ones, and then sell all their products as little square ones without a trigger and a little thing, and you can pour them into their sprayers. Then they can keep their flagship bottles. Anyway, let's get back onto this product. Very versatile product, can be used on everything, interior, exterior. The only thing, it's not a tyre dressing. You could probably still have a go at that. I love using this. You just cover it in your engine bays, blast out your engine bay with air, or if you've got any pooling of the material, which is quite a white, milky material, just mop up the excess with a microfiber towel, just buff it all out, and your engine bay looks great. Spray it in your wheel arches, it does a great job. It does have a good restorative effect. I think it really adds a nice sheen. Okay, and I think this is a really reliable product that I've never had bad results with. And I think it's a worthy third place. And it may be the best dressing in this test, but it's not the worthy winner though. And the reason why will come down to value for money. In second place with 34 points is the Gyeon Preserve. Okay, now this is a concentrated SiO2 formula that you mix down. The reason it's come second is because The Carpro is basically a very similar material. Formula's slightly different, but it's loaded. Both these are loaded in SiO2. And you can water them down to a massive extent and get huge value for money. But in short term, the Carpro is more versatile and can be used on more things that aren't mentioned on the Gyeon label, like rubber, tyres, leather, for example, off the top of my head. The Carpro is cheaper, okay? I think the Carpro tells you about the UV protection as well. The Gyeon might, but basically the Carpro just edges it as a slightly more affordable product and slightly more versatile product, so it picked up lots more marks. And really, even though the Gyeons come second, it's always, people always, because they're so similar, people always go for the one. And I think Carpro PERL has got the name within the detailing scene as being the dressing to use because of, you know, because of the value factor and the versatility and all those things. Now, the downside, sometimes when you use this on rubber, and it might be why Gyeon say don't mention rubber with it, but sometimes when you use these SiO2 products on certain surfaces, like rubber, they're a bit like when you get a bead on the bonnet of your car and there's dirt in the bead, and then the water dries and you get a little footprint of sand, or, you know, like dust, a water spot of dirt. You can get a similar effect with this product. Sometimes it can spot up on you, and that can be where a little concentration of the SiO2 forms when you've mixed it with water, and then the water dries away and leaves a little spot of concentrated SiO2. So sometimes it can spot and not form an even film like a traditional silicone. I've seen it do that a couple of times, and I've used Carpro PERL, I've used for years. And I mentioned rubber, it seems to do it more on rubber. But I think it does it when you add lots of water to it, and it can't instantly form a film. So you have to be careful with that. And some people do talk about that and say this can be, you know, can cause that spotting issue. So yeah, you have to be mindful of it. So there we go, guys. That's the adding up of all of the marks. You can't get around the fact that the Carpro PERL costs £3.78 per litre when you mix it down. That costs £99 a litre, the DIY detail. So it's about 30 times the price. It's not twice the price, 3 times the price, 10 times the price. It's 30 times the price, which is phenomenal. So the fact you can get this so cheap means I think it's the worthy winner. And there's my ranking on all these products. I'll just go back to say that really my personal favourites are probably the Autoglym and the Meguiars, and maybe the Carbon Collective, and the Carpro, to be fair, because it is a very good product and it just out Gyeons the Gyeon. So I'm going to do another follow-up video on this, giving you some informal thoughts, but that's this test. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.
Holding on